What happens when someone says, "I'll pay you back," but nobody writes down the details? That's where a promissory note comes in. It's a written, signed promise from one person to pay another person a specific amount of money. In simple terms, it turns a vague promise into a clear agreement. And that matters, because once money changes hands, confusion can become expensive, fast. In a promissory note, there are usually two main people involved. The borrower is the person promising to repay the money. The lender is the person providing it. You may also hear the borrower called the maker, and the lender called the payee. Different words, same idea. One person owes. One person waits to be repaid. Why does this document matter so much? Because lending is built on trust, but trust needs structure. In real life, that's especially true with family loans, personal loans, and small business funding. 1 in 5 adults receives financial help from friends or family, and small businesses often look outside traditional lenders too. A promissory note helps those conversations stay clear, calm, and fair. So what goes inside it? First, the principal amount. That's the original sum borrowed. If you borrow $5,000, that number should be written down clearly. No guessing. No memory games. Next, interest, if the loan has it. Interest is the extra cost of borrowing money, usually shown as a percentage. Some promissory notes have interest, and some don't. Either way, the note should say exactly what applies. Then comes the repayment date, sometimes called the maturity date. That's the deadline for full repayment. Will the money be due in 6 months? 1 year? On demand? The note should spell it out. Many notes also include a payment schedule. This explains how the money gets repaid over time. Maybe it's monthly payments. Maybe bi-weekly. Maybe one lump sum at the end. Whatever the plan is, the schedule removes uncertainty and helps both sides stay on track. Another essential part is the signatures. A promissory note should be signed by the borrower, and often by the lender too. That signature says, "I understand this agreement, and I accept these terms." It's a simple step, but it carries real weight. Then there are late payment terms. This is where the note protects both sides. What counts as late? Is there a grace period? Is there a late fee? Does additional interest start building? And what happens if the borrower stops paying altogether? That last question leads to default. A strong promissory note defines default clearly, so nobody has to argue later. Some notes even include acceleration, which means the lender can demand the full remaining balance at once if the borrower defaults. That sounds strict, but it creates clear consequences before problems begin. Promissory notes can also be unsecured or secured. An unsecured note relies on the borrower's promise and legal enforcement. A secured note ties the debt to collateral, like property or another asset. In either case, the point is the same: make the deal understandable before money is borrowed. You can see this idea everywhere. Federal student loans use a master promissory note, and business owners often use notes when borrowing from family, friends, or private investors. The format may change, but the purpose stays the same: clarity, responsibility, and trust. So remember this: a promissory note doesn't just say, "I owe you." It says how much, when it's due, how it gets repaid, and what happens if things go wrong. That's how a simple promise becomes a reliable agreement. Before you lend or borrow money, write a promissory note.